2 decades have passed since Tim Burton painted the screen with his surreal, whimsical vision of Roald Dahl's beloved classic. When Charlie and the Chocolate Factory premiered in 2005, it wasn't just a remake, it was a complete reimagining that divided critics, captivated audiences, and introduced a new generation to the magical world of Willy Wonka. Now, 20 years later, the faces that brought this confectionery dream to life have undergone transformations as surprising as anything inside that mysterious chocolate factory. From the children who found fame overnight to the legendary performers who left us with lasting memories, let's journey through time and discover where they are today. Johnny Depp, born in 1963, approached Willy Wonka not as Gene Wilder's charming eccentric but as something entirely his own creation. At 42, he crafted a chocolatier whose genius was matched only by his profound social awkwardness, a figure trapped in his own childhood trauma, hiding behind a perfectly straight bob haircut and teeth so white they seemed almost otherworldly. His Wonka spoke in high-pitched giggles and sudden silences, a man more comfortable with candy than human connection. Today at 62, Depp has retreated from the Hollywood machine that once worshipped him. Living primarily in Europe, he's traded blockbuster film sets for recording studios and directorial projects, rebuilding an artistic identity far from the glare of tabloid headlines. His Wonka remains a testament to his willingness to take risks, to create characters that defy easy categorization. Freddie Highmore was merely 13 when he stepped into Charlie Bucket's worn-out shoes, but his performance carried the weight of someone far beyond his years. Born in 1992, he possessed those soulful, expressive eyes that seemed to understand poverty and hope simultaneously. His Charlie wasn't just kind, he was the moral compass of the entire story, standing quietly dignified against the carnival of spoiled children surrounding him. Interestingly, it was Johnny Depp himself who spotted something special in the young actor and personally advocated for his casting. That mentorship on screen translated into real-life guidance that would shape Highmore's entire career. Now 33, he's become one of the most respected actors of his generation, leading critically acclaimed series like The Good Doctor and Bates Motel with the same understated grace he displayed as a child. Unlike so many young performers, he navigated the treacherous waters of fame without scandal, maintaining a private life while building an impressive body of work. Helena Bonham Carter arrived at the Bucket household at 39, shedding her signature gothic darkness to play something she'd rarely attempted, pure, uncomplicated warmth. As Mrs. Bucket, she stirred cabbage water soup with the dignity of a 5-star chef, her love for Charlie radiating through every gesture. This was a deliberate departure from the eccentric characters Tim Burton usually cast her as, proving her range extended far beyond corsets and corpse paint. Now 59, she's firmly established as British acting royalty, capable of shifting from Bellatrix Lestrange's maniacal energy to the quiet strength of Queen Elizabeth with seamless precision. She continues working steadily while raising her 2 children, her distinctive presence elevating every project she touches. Christopher Lee, born in 1922, brought darkness of a different kind to the film. At 83, he stepped into Dr. Wilbur Wonka's dental chair, creating a father whose love was expressed through prohibition rather than affection. This adaptation's genius addition, the backstory explaining Wonka's candy obsession as rebellion against his dentist father, rested entirely on Lee's shoulders. His towering frame and voice that seemed to echo from ancient tombs made the eventual reconciliation between father and son genuinely moving rather than merely sentimental. A man who had faced down Dracula, confronted Count Dooku, and battled Saruman brought that same commanding presence to a dental office. He passed away from heart failure in 2015 at 93, leaving behind a filmography spanning 8 decades and a legacy as perhaps cinema's most iconic villain. Anna Sophia Robb, born in 1993, attacked the role of Violet Beauregard with athletic precision and unwavering confidence. At just 11 years old, she understood exactly what made the gum-chewing champion tick, the competitiveness masking insecurity, the arrogance born from constant parental pressure. Her transformation into a human blueberry remains one of the film's most technically impressive sequences, requiring physical comedy skills far beyond her years. Now 31, she's evolved into a sophisticated actress with acclaimed roles in The Act and Dr. Death, proving her childhood performance was no fluke. She balanced her acting career with studies at NYU, demonstrating the same determination that made her Violet so memorable. Deep Roy, born in 1957, performed what might be cinema's most physically demanding role without ever sharing a scene with another actor. At 47, he played every single Oompa Loompa, repeating dance sequences hundreds of times while technicians digitally multiplied him into an army. His commitment to creating distinct personalities through movement alone gave the factory its surreal heartbeat. Now 67, he's become a beloved figure in science fiction and fantasy communities, his work in Star Trek and Star Wars cementing his status as a character actor whose versatility knows no bounds. Julia Winter, born in 1993, delivered Veruca Salt with such pitch-perfect entitlement that audiences genuinely hated her, which was exactly the point. At 12, she captured the essence of privilege without self-awareness, her permanent scowl and demanding tone creating a character whose comeuppance felt both inevitable and deserved. Unlike her fellow child actors, she made a conscious choice that shocked Hollywood. She walked away. After this major role, she returned to normal life, pursued education, and now at 32 works as a doctor in her native Sweden. Her journey from golden ticket winner to medical professional might be the most unexpected transformation of all. Danny Elfman, born in 1953, provided more than just musical score, he became the voice of the Oompa Loompa themselves. At 52, he recorded his vocals dozens of times, layering them into harmonies that shifted musical styles from Bollywood to funk depending on which child met their chocolatey fate. His manic energy gave the songs their distinctive flavor, making them integral to the storytelling rather than mere musical interludes. Now 72, he remains one of Hollywood's most prolific composers, his distinctive sound instantly recognizable in countless blockbusters while he continues performing live to devoted fans. David Kelly, born in 1929, brought Grandpa Joe to life with a twinkle in his eye that suggested mischief had kept him young despite his years. At 76, he danced across screen with the joy of a man who'd been waiting decades for exactly this moment, his grandson's golden ticket meaning liberation for them both. That celebratory scene remains etched in memory, representing hope triumphing over poverty through sheer joy. A veteran of stage and screen, he passed away after brief illness in 2012 at 82, leaving behind performances that radiated kindness and genuine warmth. The remaining child actors followed divergent paths. Philip Wiegratz, born in 1993, embraced Augustus Gloop's gluttony with fearless commitment at 12, disappearing into prosthetics and chocolate rivers before largely retiring from international acting. Jordan Fry, also born in 1993, captured Mike TV's screen-addicted aggression before continuing acting work in the United States, engaging with fans who remember his sarcastic dismissal of Wonka's magic. Blair Dunlop, born in 1992, played young Willy Wonka beneath terrifying orthodontic headgear before pursuing his true passion, music. Now 33, he's an award-winning folk singer-songwriter, storytelling through song rather than cinema. The parents and supporting cast represented some of Britain's finest character actors. Missy Pyle, born in 1972, created Mrs. Beauregard as the ultimate stage mom, her manic frozen smile and matching tracksuits embodying competitive parenting with hilarious precision. Noah Taylor, born in 1969, brought quiet dignity to Mr. Bucket, his toothpaste factory labor grounding the fantasy in recognizable struggle before he moved to intense roles in Game of Thrones and Peaky Blinders. James Fox, born in 1939, played Mr. Salt's aristocratic enablement at 66, now enjoying peaceful retirement after 6 decades of distinguished performances. Tragically, several beloved performers have left us. Liz Smith, born in 1921, brought gentle confusion to Grandma Georgina before passing at 95 in 2016. Eileen Essel, born in 1922, offered quiet wisdom as Grandma Josephine until her peaceful passing at 92 in 2015. David Morris, born in 1924, made his unforgettable debut as Grumpy Grandpa George, his deadpan delivery creating comedy gold before his heart attack in 2007, just 2 years after the film's release. Oscar James, the kindly shopkeeper who sold Charlie the winning ticket, now enjoys retirement at 83 after breaking barriers as a pioneering black British actor. Geoffrey Holder, born in 1930, narrated the tale with rich baritone gravitas before pneumonia claimed him in 2014 at 84. 20 years have transformed these actors in ways both expected and surprising. Some found continued fame, others chose quiet obscurity, and too many have taken their final bows. Yet their performances remain frozen in time, capturing a moment when Tim Burton's imagination met Roald Dahl's classic, creating something strange, beautiful, and utterly unique. The Chocolate Factory's gates may have closed, but its inhabitants live on, forever young on screen even as time marches relentlessly forward.